All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to say thank you to everyone who left a great comment this morning on the first video I did. Got a lot of additional information, and then I want to connect a few more dots. But again, Michael K. Williams, the actor, supposedly died from a heroin overdose or possibly a fentanyl overdose. Either way, opioid overdose. And they're saying the day he was found was September 6, 1972. They're saying that's his date of death. And the thing is, that was the actor Idras Elba's birthday. And the thing about Idras Elba is he is the actor from The Wire who blew up after that show and starred in all sorts of movies. And, he does a great job in that show. I mean, he's a good actor. But Michael K. Williams, I guess he's pretty famous, and he's been in some movies and other shows. He's done a lot of work, but he hasn't gotten the same level of, he hasn't gotten the same quality films that Idris Elba has. You've seen Idris Elba on the cover of movie posters. You haven't seen that really with Michael K. Williams. I mean, maybe there's a title out there that, but again, it didn't. Even if Michael K. Williams is on the cover of a movie poster somewhere, it still wasn't a film that got as big of views as one with Idris Elba. So you got to say, okay, Michael K. Williams is like one of the most remembered actors from The Wire for the character he played of Omar. And then I don't think anyone would argue that Idris Elba has become the most famous since the show. But you got to say, okay, what are the odds that he dies on Idris Elba's birthday? And if you're new here and saying, what are the numbers on the screen? The numbers are a very simple code known as gematria, which comes from Jewish mysticism, which is important to the Jesuits, who are Jewish and Catholic, the secret society that's responsible for the English language as we know it, and the calendar that we all go by, the Gregorian calendar, named after Pope Gregory. But you learn this simple code of letters and numbers, and you see how day after day they bring these rituals and these numbers together. So notice that in Gematria, the name Idris Elba is 79, Society of Jesus equals 56 and 79, and we just talked about how Michael K. Williams died on a date with 56 numerology. Keep in mind the show that they're remembered for, The Wire, is on HBO, which stands for Home Box Office. Notice HBO has that 56, like how he's dead on a 56 date numerology, and Society of Jesus is 56. But notice how what HBO stands for, Home Box Office, equals 54 and 72, like Jesuit Order equals 54 and 72, and the Society of Jesus is commonly referred to as the Jesuit Order. And we show how these rituals come together in numbers often. The latest is the man who played Omar, Michael K. Williams, dead at age 54 on a 56 date numerology on Idris Elba's birthday, right? And again, the show that they're remembered for on the right network that has the corresponding gematria. I've talked about HBO and the Jesuit encoding with their shows in the past. And also, think about this. How did HBO get famous for having shows? Was it not with The Sopranos? Rome, the Mafia? What are the Jesuits, essentially? The Catholic Church's Roman Mafia? And if you haven't seen my work on, James Gandolfini's death, who played Tony Soprano, you should definitely check that out. It's in my first book. And the other actor from that show, I forget his name, but his character was Frank. He's died from The Sopranos as well, and his death was the same ritual as Tony Soprano's. And again, all this stuff Jesuit. They say that James Gandolfini died while in Rome on vacation, unexpectedly. So credit to Perry Jones. Perry Jones was the first comment I saw making the observation about the death on Idris Elba's birthday. And, if he learned it from somebody else, credit to that person as well. But yeah, very great observation. And Numberjack pointed out that he plays a character on Boardwalk Empire, another HBO show. And he said that series ran 56 episodes, go figure. HBO 56, Society of Jesus 56. But his character on that show, Albert Chalky White, equals 96. And, they're drawing chalk around the actor's body on September 6th, at least per the story. And then I saw this as well, and I chose not to talk about this morning because I'll have to look at it more. The only place I've seen this posted is on Wikipedia, and a part of me wonders if Wikipedia is messing with us. But they're saying that Michael K. Williams was a Pfizer employee before going into acting, and I'm just like, really? Pfizer, this big pharmaceutical giant, opioids, an opioid-related death. Pfizer, the biggest profiteer of the pandemic so far. And not to mention the entire pandemic's a huge Jesuit ritual. If you guys don't know, again, look this up. Anthony Fauci, 56. Coronavirus, 56. Mind control, 56. Toilet paper, 56. Think about it. Washington, D.C., 56. A huge long list with 56 in coronavirus. It's been a Jesuit ritual from the beginning, as we've been pointing out. But, again, the pandemic was declared on Anthony Fauci's 79th day of being 79 years old, March 11th, 2020. And Anthony Fauci, 56. Again, just the way the Jesuits bring these numbers together again and again. So, with Jesuits in mind, DMX, his death this year on Easter weekend, right? The Society of Jesus. We talked about DMX, the ritual of his overdose, the news on 4/3/21, like 4321, like how he was on the song 4321 with Method Man. See, now I'm thinking more about that. Method Man leads off that song, and Method Man's on the show The Wire, right? And I was looking at this article about how Michael K. Williams did a tribute to DMX, who supposedly overdosed earlier this year, at the BET Music Awards. So DMX, the big overdose. Now Michael K. Williams. And lo and behold, he did the tribute to DMX. But this story's been written all over today. They want everybody to know today in the news that Michael K. Williams did a tribute to DMX, the rapper who died earlier this year. So you can't miss this. From CNN to TMZ to Variety, they're all covering this story today. They want to make sure everybody knows about it. The man who just overdosed did a tribute to the overdosed rapper DMX not long ago, right? And keep in mind, we were talking about, is there a DMX Baltimore ritual going on when he died? And The Wire is set in Baltimore, right? I'm starting to think DMX probably is from Baltimore. But look at this. In the article, they mention that at the June BET Awards where he did this tribute to DMX, he was with The Lox and Method Man, right? So I'm thinking, Method Man. Method Man was in the movie with DMX, Belly, right? He was in it with Nas as well, big movie. Belly. We talked about Belly earlier this year in relation to DMX's death. We also talked about, how DMX and Black Rob died 24 years after doing the song 24 Hours to Live. But Method Man, right? And Method Man has the connection to DMX. They're both rappers. They're both in the movie Belly. DMX has the connection to Michael K. Williams because they were both in The Wire together. Michael K. Williams played Omar, and Method Man played Cheese. And Cheese gets killed. I can't remember what happens to Omar's character in the show. I haven't seen it in forever, but I remember how Method Man's character dies. Method Man played kind of like a punk in that show, and he went out like a punk. But look at this. There's a lot to look at, but hold on. I thought I did it right there. Maybe I put it in this post. We'll come back to this, how they're looking for the drug dealer on September 7th. It's like a new episode of The Wire. The cops are out looking for Michael K. Williams, drug dealer. And that whole movie's about, the ongoing drug war and police and what it does to cities. And, it starts in the first episode. I watched the first episode yesterday. Haven't seen it in forever. And it starts off with the cops making a joke about how the drug war is not a war. And the one cop's like, why? And he's like, because wars end. And then he's like, oh, that's good. And saying that the drug war never ends. It just creates this endless cycle. Because there's always going to be the huge profit potential. Somebody's always going to go for that. Anyway, look at this. DMX died April 9th, right? And Michael K. Williams died September 6th. That's 150 days later, right? Method Man is 150. And realize, I'm just saying, this is how they string these rituals together, the relationship. So they got Michael K. Williams doing the DMX tribute, and then they got him standing next to Method Man, right? And then they write about that in the article. You're thinking, wait a minute, Method Man, he fits in with the show, DMX in the movie. There's some kind of relationship here. So anyway, it's the perfect distance in days, and Method Man's 150. And then so I thought, we know what 150 is about. That's an Illuminati number. Let's see if this fits in more with Method Man, who was born Clifford Smith Jr., March 2nd, 1971. From his birthday to the latest death, September 6th, it's 188 days later. And Bavarian Illuminati equals 188. Again, which was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, May 1st, 1776. And remember, dollar bill denominations, 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. Add them up, 188. Illuminati symbolism all over the dollar bill. So Bavarian Illuminati's 188, Illuminati's 150, 150 days apart of the deaths, and then 188 days after Method Man's birthday. And again, I'll remind that Method Man did an interview with Old Dirty Bastard on MTV, where Old Dirty Bastard did a lot of talking, and Method Man sat next to him and mostly only chimed in with, like, don't associate with me with that. I didn't say that. You know, that was like when Method Man would talk, that's all he would say, because ODB was talking about all this stuff. And Method Man was like next to him, like, wait a minute, this isn't what we're supposed to be here talking about. Method Man's like, man, I got record deals, I got movies they're promising me, commercials. You know, and again, I mean, think about it this way. Remember who died last year? Member of Houdini. He died at age 56, and his name equaled 56. And then what happened right after that? Then you got Snoop Dogg doing the commercial, right, for Corona beer with his music playing in the background. Houdini Friends, a song about how, you know, most people don't really have any friends. And now here's another rapper, you know, getting paid God knows what from Corona beers. Who owns Corona? Probably Anheuser-Busch, Miller, one of those two. Anyway, I'm sure if I drank more, I would know that's probably right on the package. But I don't drink that much alcohol. Anyway, you guys, I don't think it's an accident the way the Method Man piece fits in. And a part of me wonders if, you know, his number's not too far off. We always know the next celebrity isn't. I mean, we're talking about these kind of rituals that go on all the time. All the time. Several a year. You know, unexpected deaths. Seems like they're always in tribute to the characters they played. And almost all the headlines about, you know, Michael K. Williams' death are about how he played Omar. You know, the New York Times, everybody else, almost all their headlines about how he played Omar. And the day he died, September 6, 2021, it was a date with 20 numerology. Death and Omar both 20. Remember, before 2020 began, I said this could be a really bad year for death. And it was just like, it was crazy with the celebrities. It was like big celebrity death left and right. Even Kobe at the start of the year. And if you never saw the work on Kobe, I mean, just more evidence of the code. You know, Kobe Bryant equals 41 of the most pure cipher, dead at 41. Kobe Bryant equals 157, dead on his 157th day of his age. Again, if you're new here, gematria is very simple. It's just the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules numerology. What's considered the most pure cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. That's where death equals 20, Omar equals 20. Just did a big video on the number 20 and time and death a couple weeks ago with the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 upcoming. And with regards to Method Man, I was reminded that he did a song at the end of the 90s called Tikal 2000 Judgment Day. And I just went back and looked at the track list. I'm going to show you something real funny about that track list. There's an 11-second clip of Donald Trump endorsing Method Man and his new album. Just reminds you just what a fraud, phony Donald Trump is that took half this nation by storm. You know. It's amazing how a lot of that half that couldn't see through Trump, they do see through the pandemic. Isn't it funny how a lot of people in America can only see like with one eye? They can only see half the picture. They refuse to see the other half. A lot can't even see half. A lot are blind to all of it. But Yeah, you know what? Here, I'll just tell you this real quick. Let's just do it. Tikal 2000, Method Man's album, came out at the end of the 90s. The 20th track on this album is called Donald Trump, and it's an 11-second skit, right? And here, I'm just going to play it. It's on YouTube. I don't think I'll get a copyright for playing this. But here, listen to the chump, and then I'm going to tell you why it's funny that it's the 20th track. Look at this.
Hey, Method Man, this is Donald Trump, and I'm in Palm Beach, and we're all waiting for your album. Let's get going, man. Everybody's waiting for this album.
End of message.
Let's get going. Everyone's waiting. It's going to be the greatest. Just the Orange Oompa Loompa, man. It's amazing how many people are fooled by him. But anyway, the 20th track, the name of this album, one more time, is Judgment Day, right? Judgment Day, biblical, Society of Jesus, controlling the world of hip-hop. But the 20th tarot card is the Judgment card, right? And we talked about this. Trump, who put in the most federal judges of any president in any 4-year term ever. Remember how this all comes together. So in 2020, Trump's last year in office, right? His last full year, got replaced by Biden at the start of this year. 2021 got voted out in 2020 by the numbers, as we said he would. But notice in the most pure cipher, judges 20, right? Gavels 20. Time is 20, right? So Method Man puts out this album just before 2000, the turn of the century, where they're hyping all this fear and doom and Y2K and the whole world's going to fall apart. And then people are like, it came and it passed. And then when 9/11 happened, people are like, oh man, maybe this is what people were so worried about. People said doom was coming because for after the days of 9/11, if you weren't here back then, it was nothing but fear and color codes. And anyway, the 20th card of the tarot is the Judgment card, right? And in 2020, we get the scumbag Trump in office, the Jesuit pawn who went to Fordham. And remember, he started his Fordham career. In 1964, 56 years before 2020. And then it was the year of the coronavirus pandemic that shut down the world. And again, coronavirus 56 in the most pure, like Society of Jesus. So, again, I doubt it's a coincidence that was the 20th track. And remember, they started talking about Donald Trump as the president in 1988 on Oprah. Trump's 88. Holy Roman Empire 88. But I'm sure all of this stuff has all been like Method Man. What I'm saying about Method Man is it wasn't his idea to do an album about Judgment Day and make the 20th track an 11-second skit about Donald Trump. But again, you start to go back and just like look at these artifacts that we have from the world we've been living out and the predictive programming and understanding who's controlling entertainment and what they're really doing and how it's all time and ritual. You start to realize, like, man, this has all been one part a big calculated sick joke. And what did I see on here a second ago when I was looking at this? Isn't there something on here called mathematics? I swear to God there was. Maybe it was something else I was looking at. Producer mathematics. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what it was. The producer on the 21st track is mathematics. See, that's what else I noticed about this album. It came out on November 17th, right? That's the day leaving 44 days left in the year. Last year in 2020, Obama put out his new book, A Promised Land, which it relates to prophecy, and the word prophet's 44, and again, you got Acts 7:6, the 44th book of the Bible, about the 400 years of slavery, and then how COVID came right after we hit that 400-year mark. Again, we've been talking about how all these things are related. So I see that Method Man album came out on the day leaving 44 days, a number associated with prophets, right? He's forecasting Judgment Day. Again, we're saying the Society of Jesus is behind all this. But, oh yeah, the album. Notice how it's 73 minutes, 21 seconds, right? 73 minutes, 21 seconds. There's 73 books in the Catholic Bible. 46 Old Testament, 27 in the new. The final book is Revelation, which relates to Judgment Day. And 73 minutes and 21 seconds, 73 is the 21st prime number, right? And in that most pure cipher, Bible is 21, like Jesuit is 21, taking your Bible on Sunday, 21. So, again, just these rituals happening at this time. DMX dying in this year, 2021. I mean, here we are in 2021. DMX dies this year, who was with Method Man and Belly. The movie where it begins with him talking about how he sold his soul and he sold it for cheap. Again, he began that song 24 Hours to Live with 24 left until my death. He dies 24 years later. The song came out in 97, a year before this Method Man album. But again, what I'm showing is these guys, that like the reason they chose Method Man for The Wire, and probably Michael K. Williams, is because these guys had the right ritual. It's obvious that these people who are doing this to us, they have this stuff planned out years in advance. And again, for all of you guys who think it's beyond man, I mean, you can think whatever you want, but addition and subtraction is not beyond man, and that's what this is. This is addition and subtraction. This is basic mathematics. And just making sure you have the right people with the right birthdays. And let's say that, your club of actors worldwide has 10,000 in it. You think there's 10,000 big screen actors worldwide? I think the number's probably around there. If you have 10,000 people in that club, like big name actors, musicians, entertainers, you got at least 10,000 in that club. But in that club, you're going to have plenty of people that have the right birthday each time. So you can put them in the role. And how do you get them to play the role? You say, hey, you want another $10 million? You want another, anyway, it's obvious. And Bob Dylan talked about this openly years ago on 60 Minutes about how the people that are in the entertainment world, essentially, they sold their soul to be where they are. They signed somewhere on the line to be in this club where maybe they also know what their finish line is. Lisa Left Eye Lopez is on this album too. You see that? And she was in TLC. She died by the numbers. T-Boz is also in TLC, and she was in Belly as well, I noticed. So that might be another person to think about. T-Boz from TLC. And I remember she was putting out some kind of movie on the day a rapper from New York died last year from the Fat Boys. That was weird. Her movie was releasing. He was dying. Again, all these people obviously signed up with the club. But look at this. I mean, this is the headline today, September 7th, the day after the death. Cops looking for drug dealer. That's what The Wire's about. Cops tracing drug dealers, right? The, what's their name in The Wire? I can't think of the name of the crime family. It doesn't matter. But that's what the show's about. Cops using wiretaps, all the things that have been introduced in our lifetime to infringe on our freedoms in the name of excuses like a drug war. That's essentially what they do to us with these shows, is they glorify how we've given up our rights and liberties and get us on the narrative of the government official side of why we need to go after these dangerous criminals that are selling drugs and killing people right on the streets who don't pay their bills. And it's like, well, they're forgetting to, actually in some of these shows and movies, they're even showing you how the government funneled in those drugs in the first place. There's plenty of movies showing us how corrupt government and police are and how it's a system exploiting human lives, especially in poor communities. But The Wire was one of these shows, and again, it was a very well done show for the time. Somebody left a comment about how the show was no good. It's like, what do you mean the show was no good? You're probably like Sweet Lady. Sweet Lady needs that brand new high quality production. If it doesn't look like it's brand new, she doesn't want to watch it anymore. But a lot of the best shows were back in the day, because back then they weren't as visual driven and they were more acting driven and story driven. The Wire was well done. It was a well done show. It was a thinking person's show. So, but this is what it is all these years later. So, with regards to the date that Michael K. Williams did his DMX tribute that they're making sure we know about today in the headlines, It was June 27th, 21, and that was a date with 54 numerology. And I got to double check something about June 27th. It is. It is, man. Yeah, I thought so. It's the day leaving 187 days left in the year. And again, we're saying this all a Jesuit ritual, right? Society of Jesus. Again, if you're new here, base ciphers, alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Again, we were just talking about how Idras Elba has the 79 in his name. It was his birthday this year on a 56 date numerology, and that's the day that Williams died. And then his tribute to DMX was the day leaving 187 days left in the year. And if you were missing the work when I was covering DMX, I was saying how DMX's death was a clear Jesuit ritual. I mean, clear as day. And, you know, I was going to bring up this clip from Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher's a perfect representation of the Jesuit connection at HBO. I talked about this years ago, but Bill Maher is Catholic and Jewish, and he always talks about being Catholic and Jewish. He did his Religious movie where he talks about his Catholic Jewish upbringing. But that's what the Jesuits are, too. And his show is done at Studio 33 in Television City. And notice how Television City is 187. You know, this post right here is from 2017. Wow, I can't believe that post is from over 4 years ago. I remember when I was doing this post. Man, it's crazy. That's 4 years ago. But, you know, like I was saying back then, compare Television City and Society of Jesus. Society of Jesus, 187, 191. Television City, 187, 191. And the abbreviation, you guys, TV, 42, like Jesuit. So, the tribute was on the day leaving 187 days left in the year, plus it was a date with 56 numerology. And, again, Belly in Gematria. Belly's got the Gematria 56 and 79. You know, again, like Society of Jesus. And there's a reason behind all these numbers. They're all biblical, and most of them correspond with the Torah. The Torah is the basis of the Abrahamic religions. Abrahamic, you see how it's 56, 187? Just like Society of Jesus. Remember, there's 187 chapters in the Torah. Starts with the story of Adam and Eve, who have 56 children. You know. The name Yeshua equals 79, the real name of Jesus. And 191 is the 43rd prime, and Jesus Christ is 43. And again, there's just a lot of things that they do with these numbers over and over. Also, for the record, from DMX's death, Easter, you know, we've got the overdose Easter weekend story. But from DMX's death date to Michael K. Williams, it's 150 days later, like we talked about. It's also a span of 151 days, corresponding with Jesus Christ. And again, we talked about these same patterns, the Society of Jesus rituals. Pop smoke on the day leaving 316 days left in the year. In Hebrew, Jesus Christ is 316, kind of like John 3:16. So, yeah, I mean, that's why there can be no doubt, you guys, that it's the Jesuits behind all this, you know? I mean, the rituals are just too perfect, and the more you look at them, the more you realize more and more. So he's dead at 54. And again, remember, he died at 54. The first episode of The Wire begins on May 4th. That's the day in the plot. You don't find that out in the opening seconds, but you find out a few minutes in, because it starts with McNulty, the cop, sitting on the stoop, talking to somebody who saw the homicide shooting. And the next thing you know, he's in court, and they're talking about the shooting from the day that he was there doing that, and they say the shooting on May 4th, and they're reading out the details in court. And again, it's May 4th, 5-4, Jesuit Order 54, Omar dead at 54. He portrayed a real life person who was born in 54. Donnie Andrews, born April 29th, 54, dead December 13th, 2012. And Jesuit Order and Society of Jesus, 54, 56, dead at 54 on the 56 date numerology. The Jesuit Order is the Society of Jesus, two names for the same thing. And you ask yourself why they would give themselves an additional name. Probably for this exact reason, so that they have the numbers to bring their rituals together the way they always do. And I realize that there's some people whose minds are just like, there's something wrong with their mind. There's like some blockage in their mind that they just won't, understand this work. And to make a point, just to tell you a real life story from mine, sweet lady, her foster mom likes to visit us on an occasion. And, she was sitting here in real time before the game began. I explained to her like why they had this Sunday college football game with Notre Dame on September 5th. 9-5, the only ranked game on a Sunday in college football. And I said to her, and I said, Notre Dame with the alphabetic order is 95, like the date is 9-5. And I said, but if you use the rules of numerology, Notre Dame is 41, and the opposing coach for Florida State's coming in with 41 wins, so he should stay on 41 wins. And I said, plus the Notre Dame coach is on 39 losses, and Seminoles equals 39, so he'll probably stay on 39 losses. But so then the game starts, right? And it begins with a 41-yard touchdown to the tight end who's wearing 87. And I'm always telling you guys about how tight end equals 87 and the big joke with that. But a 41-yard touchdown. So I'm saying, I said, okay. I said, didn't I just tell you about 41? And now it starts with a 41. She's like, I just don't see how they could rig something like that. So then by the end of the game, Notre Dame wins, and they win with 41 points. And the QB has 4 touchdowns and 1 interception, which they're putting up as a stat right on the screen, another 4-1. And not only did they win with 41 points, but they won it with a 41-yard field goal. And again, I'm showing you guys year in, year out how these games are scripted to the point, to the hash mark, college and pro. And despite her hearing all that before it happened and witnessing it all play out, at the end to her words were, I just don't see how they could rig it that way. And plus, you're doing 2 systems, and I just think if they were doing this, there'd only be 1 system. And I was like, why? Why would there be only 1 system? How are you going to bring rituals together like having a game on 9-5 and the opposing coach coming in with 41 wins and then stay on the 41, and then you end up getting a 41-point score? I said, this is how the system comes together all the time. You wouldn't be able to line up these rituals. And she's like, to me it would make more sense if there was just 1 system. I was like... So, again, this is the way people are. And keep in mind, this is an educated person who has a 6-figure salary. You know what I mean? So it's just and that's why I've always said the most educated people are the most indoctrinated people. To her credit, though, she sees that the coronavirus is a big scam and the jab, so she gets that much. But, gematria is just too much for her, And then I just hate how everyone's like her, though. There'd only be 1 system. It's like, says who? I said, why do you say that? I said, this comes from Hebrew. And in the Hebrew system, they recognize that there's 14 ciphers. We don't use 14 ciphers. From the beginning, all I knew was these 2, which I learned from Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And as soon as I learned these 2, I was able to decode almost all the history. I mean, so anyway, there's just so many people who are just like, it's like, they just don't want to accept it. They can't understand the level of rigging, like they can't comprehend it, so they deny it. And really, it's not that complicated. It's really not that complicated. So, somebody's like, well, the college athletes would spill the beans. The college athletes would spill the beans? Why? Why would they spill the beans? So they could lose their scholarship and their fame on the team and their success with the ladies? And why? Who knows what else they're getting? They don't even have to go to class. Professors just pass them. They don't even have to go to class. There's incentives to being in on the script. And again, I don't think it's everybody on the team, but I think there's a few people on each team, and it's definitely the coaches and the refs. But again, it's not like college students are saints. It's not like anybody in our society is a saint for the most part. It's a society of losers and scumbags, to be perfectly honest, for the most part. But, yeah, it's just, Also, you guys, from the BET award performance for Michael K. Williams to his death was 71 days later, which is the 20th prime number. Remember how they do these prime number relationships in so many ways. Joe Biden, they said that 71% of the African-American vote was carried by him, and African-American is 71, and that's the 20th prime, the 2020 vote. The first Democratic debate was on a 71-date numerology, 71 weeks from the election, the 20th prime, 20 candidates to start the the cycle for the 2020 election. The first debates were in 2019, but still 71 weeks from the election. So 71, the 20th prime, and then he ends up dying on a 21 date numerology, death in Omar 20. Remember we talked about, it was pointed out in the first stream that I did by a caller, that his last post on his Instagram was this Tracy Morgan "Don't Cry for Me" thing. There's people in the world who need your support a lot more than I, some celebrity, do. And isn't it funny, though, that Tracy Morgan equals 54 to fit in with the ritual of him dying at 54? And don't forget sun equals 54, S-U-N, like the sun in the sky, all these rituals in time, the Gregorian calendar based on the sun, the Catholic Church worshiping on Sunday, Notre Dame playing on Sunday with their gold helmets, gold and alchemy is the sun. Or the sun is more like golden alchemy. The moon is silver. And again, remember, Mary's the moon. Tomorrow's the Virgin Mary's birthday in Virgo. Baltimore, Maryland, where the wire's set. I know all this stuff's related. I know it's all related. So, let's see. With regards to September 7th being this date that rappers are always in the news, like how they're making the point about Michael K. Williams, doing this tribute for the late rapper DMX today. All the news covering that today, the day after the news of the death. Also in the headlines today is Lil Uzi Vert lost his 24... Well, he didn't lose it. I guess he got it back, but it was ripped out of his head at a concert when he was crowd surfing. Remember, he had this pink diamond. And we were talking about this earlier in the year. Pink diamond in gematria. Knowing how the Jesuits do these rappers and put their coating all over it. Pink diamond, 56 and 187. In the same ciphers as Society of Jesus, right? And Society of Jesus also 79, and today's September 7th can be written 7/9. 3 years ago on this day, Mac Miller died. His full name equals 79 in gematria. Talked about that this morning in the first stream. But again, the pink diamond has the 56-187 connection, and the mainstream like CNN is talking about this today on September 7th. But if you read the story, supposedly this happened in July, but they saved the news for today, right? And Lil Uzi Vert, people point out that his name, Lil Uzi Vert, kind of sounds like Lucifer. So that's in the news on this day, where again Tupac got shot in this day in history, and then his album with him on the cross like Jesus came out on November 5th, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. And this is Eazy-E's birthday, who died in a big Jesuit ritual 201 days after his birthday. 201, the big numbers with the Jesuits. Speaking of the Jesuits, Howard University, the black school, today in the headlines for a ransomware attack. Howard University 201, like the Jesuit order. Again, the Jesuits have been simulating cyberattacks. We've been talking about this. Bryson did some great work on this. And... But Bryson, if you're out there, you shouldn't have deleted your work, man. Your work was great. If somebody was giving you a bad time about your work, again, don't listen to the haters. The haters don't matter. But again, this news is today, 7/9, right? Society of Jesus 79, the Jesuit Order 201, Howard University 201. Howard's in Washington, D.C., where the Jesuit University Georgetown is. And notice today has 57 date numerology, ransomware attacks 57. Remember, Georgetown was established January 23rd, 1789, a date just before George Washington turned 57 years old. George Washington turned 57 the next month in February. But the name George alone is 57. Georgetown's the nation's first Jesuit university in Jesuit, D.C. And remember, John Carroll, the Jesuit who established Georgetown, he turned 54 years old January 8th, 1789, just days before Georgetown was established, but John Carroll, 54, just the same as Jesuit order, and he was 54 years old just days before its establishment. Now we're talking about the very Jesuit ritual, the death of Michael K. Williams at age 54. After the very Jesuit death of DMX, right? Remember, DMX's funeral was done by the Kanye West Choir in the Barclays Center, which equals 56. And then 56 days later, 56 days after DMX's funeral in the Barclays Center, 56. 56 days after that, Kevin Durant picked up his 56th career postseason loss, 263 days after his birthday, the 56th prime. Again, just the way this web of celebrities and the entertainment script, how it just all comes together. Again, same Jesuits control your NBA, control your film studios, control your favorite hip-hop artists, control your politicians, and they just got it all mapped out. You know, they're the Kabbalah masters. They must have a room somewhere that just has like so many red threads connected and everything, you can't even see anything. It just looks like it's all red. The red room. But, yeah, they've just been spinning off just one ritual after the next, and when you can follow their red threads, you can see how it's all connected. So what I was noticing is how Method Man fit in. I was like, wait a minute. Sure enough, when I looked, I said, man, look at that. It is a triangular relationship between those three. Remember, Nas from Belly's putting out the album King's Disease as we're getting coronavirus, and Corona's the crown. Let me see. What else is in the headlines? Oh, yeah, this Mexico Supreme Court thing. So the Supreme Court of Mexico's in the headlines today, right? Texas on the border. Today's got the 57 date numerology, Supreme Court 57. And, again, just Mexico's more Roman Catholic than the U.S. is. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the Jesuit operation there is as clear as day. But, again, on 7-9. And, again, everything about the history of abortion by the numbers. It's because the same Jesuits playing us all for fools. They even show this rally from the day after the Jesuit Recognition Day by Rome, September 27th. By the way, for the record, you guys, I realize that about my new book. It's pretty much done, but I'm going to wait until the end of the month to finish it because I want to see what happens on September 11th this year and also what happens on September 27th since I don't have to wait that many days. And I'll just keep polishing it up and thinking more and more about the book and some of the feedback I've gotten. So at the end of this month, the book will be done. I'll submit it. And before long, I should have copies. I imagine it'll be a lot quicker to print because it's a lot smaller. So I'm thinking I'll have them in. I'm going to order just boatloads of them because I plan on, giving a bunch away. And, again, doing some real good pavement pounding campaigns. I'm thinking about actually doing the thing because Sweet Lady's coming more and more on board with me traveling. I don't know if she's content with the traveling all the way across the nation, but maybe up and down the West Coast for a while, because there's a lot of big cities we can hit in the West Coast. But yeah, the idea of getting the van and maybe having a van full of, really nice compact books teaching the knowledge and the relevance of the knowledge, and just seeing if we can find communities where people are more awake than others, more willing to get out and, let their voice be heard. I think that might be the route forward for now, trying to get the work out there. So, and again, thanks to people like Brandon D, who I'd love to meet in person in LA, who's made flyers like these. So, but yeah, even the day they chose this from was a date with 56 numerology. So, they're just reminding you the Jesuits are the divide and conquer gang. Create the things that divide the people from religion to politics. Oh, you know what else? You know what else I missed about this Supreme Court thing in the news today? I almost missed it, but I almost missed it. The word supreme is 97, and today's 9/7, right? And it's a date with 57 numerology, so we're hearing about Mexico's Supreme Court making a liberal ruling on abortion after this very conservative ruling on abortion in Texas, which borders Mexico, right? This is all New World Order. But remember, Supreme's 97, and Judge is 47 with the most simple ciphers, 97 and 47. And Donald Trump put in his first Supreme Court Justice, Neil McGill Gorsuch, on April 7th, 4/7, the 97th day of the year. Also, I meant to cover something in the first stream I did today. The upcoming rally in D.C. that the FBI is saying they got to look out for. Look at what day it is, you guys. It's September 18th. I identify the significance of September 18th in Washington, D.C. in my book. It's the day the cornerstone was laid for D.C. on a date with 47 numerology. Like D.C. is 47. Big number in D.C. if you're new here. Trump's 47, government 47, Authority 47, White House 47, President 47, Republican 47, Democrat 47. Again, there's a reason for this. Number of authority, Vatican 47, Christian 47. Again, it all goes back to the 47th problem of Euclid, the Greek mathematician foundation, why this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. But September 18th, 1793, a date with 47 numerology, that's when the cornerstone was laid for Washington, D.C. Last year, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died by the numbers on that day as a judge. Last year, it had 47 date numerology, and it was 187 days after her birthday. Washington, D.C.'s got the 187, like Society of Jesus. The Jesuits have been there longer than the feds. And remember, the Capitol insurrection was a huge Jesuit ritual, which we knew everything about before it even happened. And so now they're saying the next big gathering is going to be on the big important day for D.C. You know, it's the day the cornerstone was laid, the day that there's almost a ritual in D.C. every year on that day. Again, the message that people should get is this isn't some conservative gathering. This is some Jesuit-instigated thing, getting people who identify as conservatives there so they can become the latest part of the ongoing divide-and-conquer ploy. And, I mean, the one thing that can be said, though, about the political divide is in the time of right now, which is the most un-American time there ever was, you see that they really are trying to make conservatism look bad. And that's because conservatives are more along the lines of they just want things to remain the way they already are, and we're coming into this time of radical change and push, and liberal does mean willing to change, but again, willing to change doesn't mean just changing to the tune of tyranny, which is what most liberals identify, people that just go along with tyrants, as do most conservatives too, because they'll go along with a Jesuit pawn like Trump, whereas the liberals will go with a Jesuit pawn like Biden, but at the end of the day, everybody's just getting played by this game. So the only thing to do with this game is end it. Burn it all down. I know the FBI likes when I say that. That the city needs to burn, but it really does. Yeah, I had an FBI agent come to my house August 21st, 18 for a video explaining why we need to burn down the government because really bad shit's coming, and if we don't do it soon, bad shit's going to be here real soon because 2020 is not that far off. I was saying this at the end of 2017, and I was not wrong. So, but yeah, what was funny is they sent the FBI agent on August 21st, 18, which was a date with 47 numerology, and agent equals 47, government number, and the movie Agent Hitman, the Hitman movie came out that day. The movie's about Agent 47. So like, I think they're messing with me sending the FBI to my house on this day. Not to mention they had to falsely accuse me of something I never said, which they had no evidence for. But here, one more thing. This Television City where some of the HBO work's done out of, CBS uses it, the All Seeing Eye Network. Notice it's at 7800 Beverly Boulevard, right? I'm sure it's an accident. That's the address. Jesuit 78. Remember, Television City is 187 and 191 like Society of Jesus, right? You got Killer Mike on Bill Maher sporting the Kill Your Masters t-shirt. And I remember last year him and some others supposedly opened an all-black bank in a huge Jesuit ritual. You know what I mean? So, again, the Jesuit pawns, they're easy to see when you know gematria. But this Television City, I was just reading the little Wikipedia about it, and I thought this part was funny right here, since it's down in L.A. Initially, the 4 original studios were equipped with RCA TK10 monochrome cameras. Studio 43 was equipped with RCA TK4041 color cameras in 54, Jesuit order, with cables, and don't forget, in They Live, that movie, in They Live, it's Cable 54 that's the enemy of the world. When Cable 54 is destroyed, the people can finally see clearly. If you've never seen They Live, you should really watch that movie. Roddy Piper, by the way, died 201 days from his birthday, like the Jesuit order. Jesuit order 54. But so it got the color cameras in 54 with cables allowing any of the original 4 studios to use those cameras. And then in 56, go figure that year, Studio 41 was equipped with RCA TK41s. Now remember, LA's 41, right? But 41 is the 13th prime number. Again, we're talking about the Society of Jesus. The Jesus and his 12 disciples, right? 13, the sun and the 12 constellations. Sunday, named after the Son of God, the sun in the sky, the son of a man. But isn't that funny? The LA studio in 56. Remember, Notre Dame's got the 41 coded right in. You just saw a huge Jesuit ritual on 9/5. The Jesuits created to counter the 95 Theses against the Catholic Church. Notre Dame, big 95 on 9/5 with the 41 points. So, yeah, you're 13. That's a big number at this nation, this Jesuit-controlled nation from the beginning with the 56 signers on the Declaration. But USA 41, so. Anyway, I just want to point those things out. And I think that's all for now. If I see some more great comments, I'll follow up and cover those things as well. But again, this world of celebrity, it's a sick, twisted game. And you know what? I want to say one more thing about Idras Elba. I bet I have a post on here. From the beginning of the pandemic with Idras Elba. Well, it looks like I have a couple. Hold on. Well, actually, I don't see the post I was expecting to see. This is later on. For anyone reading the title, like, why does he say Negro actor? I don't mean anything by it. The reason why is right here. In Gematria, Idris equals 59 and 76, like slave Negro Rasta blues. Acts 7:6, about 400 years of slavery. Barack Obama 76, a Promised Land 76, Acts 76, the 44th book of the Bible. Again, Obama put out his book on the day, leaving 44 days left in the year. But the day that Idras Elba tested positive for the virus was a date with 59 numerology. Maybe it was just one of those live streams I was doing. If you guys remember the early days of the pandemic, making all the predictions, which have all now landed, I was doing a lot of like 4-hour live streams, just covering a lot of live news, taking a lot of calls. It might have been one where somebody pointed out, Idras Elba in the headlines, telling black people to stop spreading conspiracy theories about coronavirus and to take it seriously because it was going to impact their community the most. And then he was, I swear he was on camera at the time. I know this was before March 6th. Well, unless I'm wrong, maybe it was all around the same time. It seemed like it was before this, though. It seemed like it was like in February, before the pandemic was officially declared, but all the fear-mongering had started on TV. But Idras Elba was one of the first celebrities. He was the first black celebrity that I remembered that went on TV and talked about this. And then he called out black people for spreading conspiracy theories and not taking, the virus seriously. But, now on his birthday, you got Omar by the numbers. So, yeah, Idras Elba also has the connection with pandemic. Big number with the pandemic, 65. Oh, yeah, they had to mention that he was 47 at the time. He doesn't have any symptoms so far. He's just another positive test in this scary, scary pandemic where most people need to be tested to even know if they have it. And then if you do have it, it's the sniffles for a couple days. Anyway, we will leave it there for now, you guys. Just want to point out that Idras Elba been used as an agent in the time of the pandemic. This news coming in the time of the pandemic on his birthday. And again, like we've been saying the whole time, it all points back to the Jesuit order. If you have not read my book, Number Games, 9/11 to Coronavirus, it's a lot more clear than this presentation, but it's the same numbers, the same rituals. And again, I mean, there can be no doubt about who was pulling the strings. So thanks to everyone who tuned in. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for the mods for being here. I see Miss Mildred's linking something real quick. Hold on, before I get out of here, I got to see what Miss Mildred's linking. Let's see. American Medical Association releases stunning document teaching. Oh, hey, come on. doctors to lie to patients while deliberately exaggerating COVID death claims. The AMA admits to its own complicity in crimes against humanity. So this was posted yesterday. And you know what? Here, I'll just take the time to read the article real quick. If Miss Mildred posted it, it must be important. Let's see. Okay, the self-destruct sequence that will bring down the death cult cabal of anti-human globalists has already been activated. By the way, if you ever go to a Jesuit university, it's not hard to see that they're very proud of being the driving force of globalization. You know, they got quotes all over their buildings. So the Jesuits already see themselves as the New World Order, and they absolutely are. Okay, the self-destruct sequence that will bring down the death cult cabal of... See, I wish this article, though, would start with some more specific language. Why not Jesuit cabal? That's what it needs to say. That's who's behind all this. It's clear as day. They're the same ones behind the cancer. The reason that we're so fucked with cancer is because of the Jesuits. Look into who's all behind all the decisions to go chemotherapy route and all this. It was all Jesuits. The whole reason our whole medical system's so fucked is because of these Jesuits. It's like they purposely fuck up everything. It's like they just want to keep everybody like dumb and in a state where they're easily controlled and can be exploited and milked for money, from taxes to chemotherapy. You know, and it's like they want to... There's so many different ways to say it. It doesn't. It's just like, this is the worst fucking gang there ever was, and people need to call out their names. But okay, with hilarious fake news attempts like the recent Rolling Stone hit piece against ivermectin, the cabal media is self-destructing by the day. With endless fiat currency printing by the Fed, the entire financial underpinning of illegitimate big government is imploding. And with the laughable, desperate attempts to imply COVID vaccine approval while pushing utterly unproven booster shots backed by no supporting data whatsoever, big science is ripping its own eyeballs out and throwing them across the room. We are witnessing the total self-destruction of big pharma, big science, big media, and big government. Well, I like to think that, but I think what we're really witnessing is how it's really taking over the world, and there's very little resistance. All as they trip over each other trying to discredit ivermectin and vitamin D while pushing vaccine death shots and medical authoritarianism. All they've really accomplished, however, is the accelerated awakening of the masses as they witness the authoritarian lunacy and junk science death cult that's paraded all around us, falsely claiming our freedoms have to be obliterated in the name of safety. Well, again, I like their positivity, but this isn't what I see in the world. I mean, I don't see that there's a mass awakening at all. In Victoria, Australia, by the way, lunatic Premier Daniel Andrews just declared that unvaccinated people will be locked out of all healthcare and hospital services. Given how toxic, deadly, and incompetent mainstream doctors have become, that's probably a blessing. Truly. Perhaps the free people of Australia will finally turn to nutrition and natural medicine, and they will therefore outlive the vaccine zombies who are committing medical suicide. AMA releases documents teaching doctors how to deceive patients. Okay, that's the headline again. The American Medical Association, which is now engaged in training its members to lie to patients as they murder them, has released an eyebrow-raising document that claims rampant disinformation is eroding public confidence in science and undermining trust in physicians and medical institutions. And to reacquire that lost trust, the AMA proceeds to teach doctors how to lie to the world about COVID. On page 9 of the document, doctors are told to replace the phrase hospitalization rates with the claim that all hospitalized patients are deaths, thereby wildly exaggerating COVID deaths in order to achieve mass hysteria. Make no mistake, this is the AMA directly instructing doctors to lie about COVID deaths. Again, that doesn't, without even seeing the document, I mean, that doesn't seem like a surprise. Deborah Birx went on TV and they made it the news story that day, her explaining how they were going to mark all sorts of shit as COVID deaths, even though if those obviously weren't COVID deaths. It's just like, they can only get away with this because people are retarded, man. I mean, come on. If somebody died from stage 4 cancer and you did an autopsy on them and COVID came up, then it counts as a COVID death? I mean, what the fuck? Since when are we just trying to credit a bunch of things to a certain cause of death? Again, I just imagine what it would look like if every day CNN had a death tracker of all the fat fucks that died from obesity. And don't be the next idiot to say, nobody dies from obesity. Shut the fuck up, moron. Yes, they do. All these heart problems and, blood, most of this is from obesity. Okay? These are direct causes of the obesity. So it counts as an obesity death. But again, the number would be bigger than COVID every day. Is they even have to they have to take fat fucks who died from not taking care of themselves and mark them down as COVID deaths. You can still keep cheating like that. The fat fucks are still going to pile up more each day than the COVID deaths. And meanwhile, your mainstream media peddles you all this junk food and pharmaceutical medicines that don't treat any of this stuff and have deadly side effects. I mean, just every time one of these pharmaceutical commercials comes on, I'm just like, God, who would listen to that commercial and be like, I'm going to get that? I mean, they must really have a severe problem for what it's being marketed towards, because anytime you listen to the side effects, it's like, God, that sounds way worse than what you're getting treated for. And what you're getting treated for has to do with eating like shit. How about just eat better and don't take that drug that might fucking kill you, make you suicidal, and all the other things that could go wrong? This drug's been known to cause heart attacks, loss of sights. It's just like, what? Why would you? Okay, does that alone's in the side effects? I'm definitely not taking that. God. Here's a real story from the community. Big Al, in his community, he has a family member. If I remember correctly, it's his niece. And his niece is about 30 years old. And the niece and her friend went out and got the vaccine together. And they're both around 30. And a few months after getting the vaccine, both of them have been diagnosed with MS. Is that just a coincidence? Is that just a coincidence? Two women around age 30 are both diagnosed with MS months after both getting the vaccine together. You know what I mean? The same mainstream media is showing you all the healthy people who died right after getting the vaccine. They've let you know several of these celebrities who got the vaccine died shortly after. But they've made it seem like, well, there's plausible deniability. And again, just since we got onto this at the end, one of the headlines today from CNN was that there are 3 times as many cases this year on Labor Day for COVID as there was last year. 3 times as many as last year? Well, last year there wasn't a vaccine. So you mean to tell me in the time of the vaccine that cases are 3 times worse, and that's a sign that we should be mandating policies that people need to get rushed out vaccines, which could also have side effects on top? Like where's the logic? If we have 3 times more cases this year than last year, what's the one difference in the world besides the vaccine? Seems to me that the vaccine must have to do with something, must have a lot to do with why the cases are 3 times higher this year. What else has changed in the world? More people are out of work. So, there's, more people out of work, I don't know. The only thing that's changed is the vaccine. So how could you argue that the vaccine's helping anything if there's 3 times as many cases this year? But yeah, that is interesting. Just another language change. Language is everything, right? Without language, there'd be no gematria. There'd be no written laws. There'd be no signing on contracts. Sometimes I think language might be one of the worst things that ever happened to humanity. We would have been better off when we point at things and show how many fingers, because really how often do you have to count above 5 anyway? I need 2 of that. I don't even have those words. I just point at it with the 2. That's why in the beginning there were numbers, you guys. And again, in Kabbalah it says God created the world with numbers, language, and words. These people are playing God this way, making a mockery of us. All right, yeah, I think that's enough. Thanks for the share, Miss Mildred, on the article. The world is built on lies, you guys. Everybody should know that, man. They lie to us every day. That's what I've been telling you the whole time. They lie to us every day. Steer us down the path of these agendas, man. Only meant to take away our rights and liberties. And it's amazing that so many people are still trusting the news, a news that's done nothing but lie to them their whole lives, scare them needlessly. I mean, if you surveyed almost every American about how many times they've been scared needlessly by the news, Hold on, somebody's calling in. I'm just gonna take one call.
Hey Zach.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, sorry if you don't. I hope you don't mind me calling you on this number. I just see this sick 23 Lakers thing they're doing. The guy who used to wear 23 with the Lakers is in the ICU. His name is Cedric Ceballos, and yeah, I just think.
Wait, is it Cedric Ceballos?
Yeah.
I see. It reminds me. You're a young guy. You don't remember Cedric Ceballos? He tied the blindfold and he dunked it for the
That's
slam
it.
dunk contest. Yeah.
Oh wow, 23 years ago, I believe. Yeah.
What happened to Cedric Ceballos?
He's in the ICU. 10 days now.
All right, I'm gonna look at that before I get off. I'm glad you called in. See, I was hoping it was you that was calling because I saw the area code. I'll save your number so I know it's you. But I was actually hoping it was you. So all right, here, I'll look into that. Appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, all right, so that's Itachi. I don't think Itachi's really been around here that long, but he's made a mark. He's done a great job. He contributes every day. You know, he's the man. So he's somewhere out there in Connecticut. So Cedric Ceballos, man. 52 right now. Means he's in his 53rd year of life. COVID is 53. August 2nd. This news broke today. So that news 36 days ago, or a span of 37. I forget all what teams he played for. Hey, let's go back and look at his whole career. He was a journeyman. He played for a number of teams. Los Angeles was one of them. Here they show him in his Los Angeles jersey. Los Angeles is 37, right? Kobe died in a big Catholic Jesuit ritual. Traveling from Catholic Mass. So his career began with the Suns. Suns made it to the finals this year. Chris Paul got COVID by the numbers. And remember, the Suns lost to the Bucks on the 201st day of the year, the Jesuit Order 201. And the Bucks and the NFL went to the White House that same day after Brady had 201 passing yards in the Super Bowl. But okay, his first team was the Suns in 90. Then the Lakers, then the Suns, then the Mavericks, then the Pistons, then the Heat. Then he's playing for I didn't know he played for the Globetrotters. He played in Israel. Las Vegas Slam must be some lower level league. I don't know what that is. He stayed playing basketball somewhere in the world for 10 years after he got out of the NBA. Okay. So, well, here, the 37th day of his age in the hospital for the virus. You know, virus is 37, right? And then, you know, part of his career was Los Angeles. Let's hope he doesn't die since it's 9/7, if that's where this story's going. All right, Cedric Ceballos, let's see. 57, we talked about how today has 57 date numerology, right? We were just talking about that. Supreme Court 57, the news about Mexico and abortion today. Cedric Ceballos, his name is 111, and that means it's also 666 in Sumerian, like vaccination. You know, let's see. But okay, 37th day of his age, virus. Let me look at it some more. His birthday is 8/2 as well. COVID is 53 and 82. COVID 53, 82. 8/2 birthday, 53rd year of his life right now. Whoops. Here, let's look at the New York Post story on this. So it's a perfect day for 57 date numerology. This could turn into a vaccine story because, again, remember, there's been a lot of 57 rituals with vaccine as well. Cedric Ceballos is 57, vaccines 57. We got 57 date numerology. How do they phrase this? Cedric Ceballos, a former NBA All-Star and the 92 Slam Dunk Contest champion, tweeted on Tuesday that he had been in ICU for the past 10 days as he battles COVID-19. Okay. On my 10th day in ICU, COVID-19 is officially kicking my butt. I'm asking all family, friends, prayer warriors, healers for your prayers, and well wish for my recovery. He says he's apologizing to anybody he's done anything bad to in the past. Looks like he's gotten pretty big. Looks like he got pretty heavy there, Cedric. Come on, man. People let themselves get so fat, man. I don't get it. I swear to God, I'm never going to be fat. Even if I lost my legs and my arms and I couldn't fucking exercise, I'd waddle around like a worm. Let me see. Sabalos, 52, played in the NBA from 90 through 2001. I got him at the 57. They had to mention about that year where he shot 57% from the field. That's just what I mean with this shit, man. Come on, man. You see what I mean? On the 57 date numerology, they had to get in the year that he shot 57% from the field. That's why the people who say I have confirmation bias, you guys are fucking retarded. Let me emphasize that. And I get tired of you guys saying that I shouldn't use that word. What other word describes it? These people are fucking retarded, man. Confirmation bias. Every day is the exact same numbers they implant in the fucking articles that we're already expecting to be in the articles before the articles are written. These guys are just biased towards remaining ignorant and thinking the game's not this rigged. Let's see how people... So People's covering his quote on the 10th day. They got his tweet as well, the same tweet. He finished up with the Lakers in 97, they emphasize in this article. Here we are on 9-7, right? And again, 37th day of his age, Virus 37, Los Angeles 37. They had to bring up the Suns 93 team. Okay. Well, hopefully he doesn't die, man. I mean, again, I don't know what they're really doing with these celebrities. I don't know that any of them are really dying, if it's all just them acting in a mockery. He couldn't get the role for Cheese in The Wire, so now he's doing this. I don't know, man. But again, it's not hard to see why Mr. 57, they're writing the news story on the 57 date numerology, because you just saw he's been there for 10 days. Why didn't they do the story 10 days ago or 5 days ago or 4 days ago? Those days wouldn't have had 57 date numerology. You know what I mean? So again, just more people with the... And I always say, if you can only have one cipher, it's this one right here. You know, I always say that. The one where his name is 57. That's why from the beginning, the only two ciphers I knew from the beginning were these two. Thanks to Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And from those ciphers, I could see through almost every news story. You know, Cedric Sabalos on the 57 date numerology. Easy. Yeah, and if you're new here, in both my books, in both of them, I teach you in the beginning how to do gematria and date numerology and just see how every day the news is crafted this way. And I mean, you can prove it every single day in so many different ways. All right. Good heads up, Itachi. Good article, Miss Mildred. Appreciate everyone in the chat. And... I just checked my P.O. box today. I will open these letters. I see Truth does not exist in the chat. Says that he sent the letter. And since I'm covering up where his city is, that's my address, P.O. box. But this has got to be his. Every time he sends a letter, it is interesting. You want me to open it up on the air? Man, you tape a letter the same way my mom does, man. You guys are... Woo! I try to be more conscious of the tape load. Should I open this on the air? I'm looking for your chat if I should open it, but the good news is it's going to take me a minute just to open it. You got so much tape on this thing. Hold on. While we wait to see if he wants me to open his letter on the air, if it's crucial for the community, I think Itachi's calling back.
Hey, man, it's 251 days after LeBron's birthday. Just want to leave you with that.
The 54th prime, Jesuit Order 54. There we go.
Yep, the whole Tracy Morgan thing we saw earlier, so yeah.
Yeah.
Day LeBron passed Kobe, scoring the 50-point on 25.
So what do you think? More confirmation bias? We're just making it all fit with the Jesuits, or does it just all line up every day?
Man, even
It doesn't LeBron's name equal 79? LeBron Raymond James.
Yeah. LeBron Raymond James, 79. It's a perfect match with New Orleans Pelicans, and they got some weird stuff there, man. I don't know how anyone's still denying it. The 201, the Bucks. It's LeBron's two kids. Both their names equal 201. LeBron's born 201 days
After the 84 NBA Finals in the Jesuit order, 84 and 201. Yep.
People are like, oh, I don't see how they can do this. Yet, they just can't fathom it. Yet they believe all this stuff. Like, we can go to all these different planets. Yet this, satellite can operate this.
Right, but adding up and counting days from birthdays is just too complicated. That's why you just realize, like, almost everybody's so retarded, man. It's just like, even people in this community, it's just like, you guys have no common sense. That's the reason you're so confused.
Yeah, anyone still on the fence about Trump, about QAnon, or took them to the election to get it after Operation Warp Speed by the numbers, all this same stuff, getting coronavirus, promoting it. It's like, and it's sad because these people are part of the community, but it's like, damn, this is what we got to work with. And then it's like the other people who really know what's going on, they just can't fathom it. The gematria is too much for them, even though they still like get other stuff. But I don't know, man. I'd have a hemorrhage if I were you, or what do you call it?
Well, I was just talking to a computer whiz who gets over 6 figures a year working for these big tech companies, and she couldn't comprehend why there'd be 2 ciphers for Notre Dame 95 and 41 as it plays out right in front of her face, and then she still can't recognize it. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with people, man?
Because they'd have to admit they're wrong with everything, or the whole thing could be like this. It's too much for them, and they have to... I just don't think it could be that way. So whatever I think it is reality, and it stops there. It's pathetic because it's a coward. It's like
it is pathetic, man. I've been saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Sabalos 48. He was the 48th pick of the draft. More confirmation bias.
And then that 57 thing you just showed. It's like, people say, it's insane, man. But I just want to use this opportunity. If anyone is in Connecticut, please, reach out to me in the chat. Unfortunately, I've been unemployed recently. My job, as soon as they did a vaccine survey, do you have it or not? I just started getting super micromanaged and targeted, and so I'm no longer employed, and I got a lot more free time to work on the decoding the sports pick in the community. So just want to mention that, Zach.
All right, hang in there. It'll be for the best. All right, take care, Itachi. See you, man. Okay. Leo, I just saw you were trying to call in while he wasn't quite done. You can call back. I'll pick it up. And I don't know if I ever saw Truth Over Fear respond. Did he say if I should open his letter or not? I'll save it for later. What's up, Leo?
Hey, what up, Zach? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I was just gonna call you real quick. You remember when you did that live stream about the when you typed in Civil War?
Oh, just the other day with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, with the 97 connection and News to the World or whatever that movie was.
Civil War's got all kinds of numbers in it.
Yeah, I saw the 56 and I was like, oh shit, look at what all the 56 connections. I was like,
that's why the whole George Floyd thing, man, just how perfect it was with George Floyd.
Right. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That was awesome though. That was a great connection with the 56 as well. I was like, yeah, I like that. Because that's what they're doing, They're turning us against these brain deads. But Civil War, I would say, is up against the people that are responsible too. People that watch sports, people that listen to the news, and then plus the people that work for a paycheck to spread lies.
Indeed, and that's a big industry.
Right. Yeah. But also, I dropped a quick video on your live stream earlier because you were like, what'd you say? You're like, you can't even realize or visualize the Tupac song.
Uh-huh.
Right before your very eyes, you can't even visualize. So I kind of just edited your video with that song in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I just letting you know that I took your video on that one and then posted it as well. Because I don't mind posting your shit either, because more people need to see it.
Indeed. Have you put your t-shirts on anything besides Etsy yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we got to do that pronto.
Okay, like Shopify. I tried Sal's, and it says that they're not accepting new, like, I went to Sal's.com, right? And it said they're not accepting anybody else right now.
Well, I'd do anything, because Etsy might do exactly what they did to me. Once my thing got built up and was doing well with all the stuff, they just deleted it with no explanation.
Well, they suspended my account twice already.
That's exactly what I mean, man.
And you know what they told me? They emailed me. They said your account is under review for content. And I was like, you got to be kidding me! And that was right in the middle of people waiting for their orders.
That's exactly what I mean with them. Yeah, we got to get you on something else. Do Shopify. I think they'll be all right.
I'm gonna work on Shopify today.
Or the other thing you can do is just figure out a way if you can manufacture the t-shirts yourself. Because I know that using all those websites, you don't get much of a profit margin, and you have to sell a gazillion t-shirts. It might be more effective for you to find somebody to manufacture the shirts and just sell them directly from you, and then you don't have to worry about getting censored either.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm only making like $5-6 a shirt.
Well, that's
Etsy.
not bad, actually. That's not bad. But you can, if you manufactured your own shirt, it could be better. So.
Yeah, at least if it was like $10. I think if I do it myself, it would be like maybe $10 a shirt, which is not bad. And that's why the prices have to be so damn high, because there's so many fees involved with.
Well, sure. Exactly. Yeah, to make a profit, you got to charge a bunch for your shirt. Exactly. So
right. And I think that kind of deters people a little bit at the same time. But you're right. I need to get it on Shopify, and then right now I was actually in contact with the guy that he says he can print them out for me, and get me the shirts as well, like at a cheap cost. So I'm working on that right now, so I could just have people order them from me.
Right.
Because
yeah, do that. Set it up. And what I want to do, Leo, also to help you out is I'll make a donation and then promote your thing, and then you can like give away some of your shirts too. And then just like for people who don't know, Vanessa on her channel, on her wall, she posted a picture wearing one of Leo's t-shirts. But
right.
I want to help you get your thing going. But yeah, get off Etsy, man, because they're bad and they take a lot in fees anyway too. Plus they're a scummy company, so.
Yeah, they are, and your mother, which I thank a lot, because she kind of like gave me tips about Etsy, but she was saying that they destroyed her fucking business.
They did at the same time that I posted, because I just wanted to see what would happen if I put my ebook on Etsy after they banned my first book, and it was the same time I did that all of a sudden she didn't get any more sales. So. Right,
and she was telling me that she's like, you need to. Don't rely fully on Etsy. I was like, yeah, okay. Well, that's what I got going right now. So, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, if I'll put it on Shopify, I'll do that today. And then
maybe make like whatever your best shirt is, figure out if you can get somebody to manufacture that shirt in bulk for you, and then just do direct orders. And you know what I'll do? I think when I get my new book finished here, I'll send you a whole bunch of my books for free, and I'll tell people that get a shirt from Leo, and he'll stick in a copy of the book, because I think I'm gonna be able to get the printing cost pretty low for these new books. So.
That would be awesome, man. That would be really
but I want to help you get your thing going better. But at the same time, I haven't wanted to buy. I have the thing I've been slacking on in Jersey. Like, I don't want to buy anything from Etsy because I hate that fucking company.
Yeah,
so.
No, I totally understand that. But I do want to be able to have shirts too. Like, when Big Al and I we're gonna do a live stream here pretty soon, in front of the news stations, and it's crazy because there's not a lot of people that are willing to come down, and there's people here in Arizona that follow my channel and in Tucson. But I think if I would say, hey, what if you guys show up and help us out with this, I'll give you guys a T-shirt or something, or maybe one of your books, like you said, that'd be fucking awesome. I think that would help people, come together. So,
indeed.
So yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna figure that out on finding somebody that can manufacture them, and then I'll let you know. And then, yeah, I'm definitely going to put it on Shopify as well.
All right. Keep up the good work, Leo. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Zach. Thank you.
See you, man.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, I want to help get some other people really going in this community. And I know Leo's one of the people who can do it. He's made some great videos. He's been out pounding pavement with Big Al. And his channel is Truth Over Fear. And he's already been censored a few times too. So it's like anybody who shares about this work gets censored, whether they're 18 years old or 50 years old. Okay. But yeah, I think that was a good stream. We covered a lot, plus more. And I'll do some more thinking on Cedric Ceballos. But yeah. Yeah, that's all for now.